tabs for the sweep picking lick I've just played are in the description. Also, there's a link to the backing track. Shout out to Sebastien Zunino for that. Link to his channel in the description. I've received a lot of comments in my YouTube shorts saying that sweep picking is a musical. And I partly agree. If you just do this, that's not musical. Some guy commented saying that it sounds like jackpot at the slot machine, and it cracked me up because it's true. It literally sounds like that. So we can agree on that, but if used in the right way, it can be very musical. I'm going to teach you by doing rather than just by telling you. We'll go through the lick that I played in the beginning. We'll play it together with a metronome, and I'll explain why it works. And also, I'll show you what works and what doesn't work. First, let's go through what doesn't work. Let's say you get asked to record some guitars on a pop tune, or you're improvising over it or whatever. And it's a very simple pop tune, like 3 chords, like this, for example. So it's 3 chords, D, G, A. If you need to play a guitar solo over that and you start doing this, then obviously you've ruined the song, you demonstrated bad taste, and you just used the wrong tool. It does not mean that sweep picking is inherently bad. It just means you, as an artist, as a musician, made a bad choice. You used the wrong tool in the wrong context. There is nothing wrong with the tool, which is sweep picking in this case. It's just a choice you made that made it non-musical. But now let's talk about what could work. Let's say you're improvising over the backing track that I showed you at the beginning, and you're improvising with your friends, a jam session, whatever, and you pull that move with a clean sound, so not with a distorted heavy metal sound like this, but more like almost this clean sound. And you do that, you're the man or the woman. In my experience, even non-musicians will turn their head and be like, whoa, what was that? That was cool. Whenever I have friends around, they ask me to improvise, non-musicians, because to them it kind of looks like magic when you improvise, because they just can't believe that you're making things up on the spot. Whenever I improvise, they're amazed. And as soon as I sweep, they always go, whoa, what was that? And the reason is I used the right tool in the right context with the right sound and played it in time with a good execution. That's what makes it musical, regardless of the tool that you're using. Music is very much a language. Imagine that you're talking to a 5-year-old child and you start using vocabulary that you would use with a stock market CEO. The kid isn't going to understand you. And it's not because the words you're using are wrong. You're just using them in the wrong context. That's exactly what's happening with sweep picking, some fast legato lick, whatever it is that you're trying to do, and it's not coming across as musical. Other reasons why the lick could not work for you is if you're using the wrong sound, you're not playing in time, or you keep hanging on it for too long. So for example, maybe you play the lick, but then you just stay there because you don't know what to do. You've ruined it. You've ruined the moment. If you're into combat sports, you relate to this. Sometimes you catch someone with a good combo in boxing, kickboxing, MMA, whatever. And then for a second, you just stand there admiring your work almost, as if to say, oh my God, I can't believe it worked. I did it. And then boom, you get hit back. If you catch someone with a good combo in boxing or whatever other combat sport, as soon as you've done it, well done, good work, move. Otherwise, you're going to get hit. It's the same thing in music. You need to, once you play the fast lick, I understand that can take a lot of mental energy to play fast, but it doesn't matter. You need to move on straight away. I understand it's hard to play and whatnot, but you need to move on straight away. Start going back to playing your normal notes. Otherwise, the moment will pass and you've missed it. You've missed your chance. Okay? Playing fast requires quick thinking, and that comes with practice and with forcing you to do what I've just said now. So you do the thing, it worked, amazing. Force yourself to move on, no matter how hard it is mentally. Or as I said, it could be that your execution wasn't good enough, so maybe the context was correct, but then you play the lick badly. So in that case, you need to work on your technique. I'll show you a couple of other examples of sweep picking being musical in this context. So for example, So what I've done there was a tiny 3-string sweep that launched me into that quick-ish scale. That really worked because it's like you're using sweep picking as a little ramp to get you to that fast lick, if that makes sense. Or another example could be very similar. So you're just using the 3-string sweep to launch into that legato lick. But for example, if I play that same thing and did it wouldn't work because I'm hanging on it for too long. You need to play the lick, well done, move on, do something else, go back to your normal notes, okay? Now let's go through the lick. We're actually gonna learn it together. You've got the tabs in the description, and if you struggle with sweep picking, I've put together a step-by-step system. It's on pre-sale for half price in the description if you're interested. Anyway, the backing track is in A minor, which means we're using the A minor scale. This lick is based around the A minor arpeggio. So that's an 8 right there. This is the A minor. So we're going to start with this chromatic legato. Okay, so it's 12, 11, 10, 8. It's quite fast. And then we're going to go up the A minor arpeggio. It's all upstrokes, okay? So this is down, and then up, 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 up. And it's 10, 9, 10, 12. So far we've got. Then we're going to slide into the C major arpeggio, so which is that. We're going to slide from the 12th to the 15th on the 5th string. And then we're going to do 15, 14, 12, 13, 12 again. So far we've got. Then we're going to hammer on the 15th of the first string. So right there. Then we're going to slide. In the tabs, I've put the number 20 because, yeah, technically you go up here, which is a note of the A minor scale, that's a C. But really it's just almost like an effect, like a sound effect. I just want you to do a nice slide up. So you see, it doesn't matter where you land as long as you get that sound. And then we end on the 15th of the second string. So all together. Why does it work? Because the key is A minor. We're starting with an A minor arpeggio. We're going through the C. I guess those notes are still in the scale, but not exactly in the chords that are being played behind in the backing track. But it's good enough. It's only like a brief moment anyway. They're only like passing notes. And then we end on this note, which is an E, which in the backing track in that moment, I think there's an F major 7th behind, which obviously has an E. The E is the major 7th of F. So the reason why it works is we're using the notes of the scale and we're somewhat following the chords. We've got the right tone, make sure it's like a clean-ish or very slightly tube screamer sound, nothing too distorted. It's played in time, and yeah, that's pretty much why it works. It's the right choice in the right context. Let's try and practice it with a metronome now. The backing track is about 85 beats per minute, so let's do 80. And so on. Make sure you do that. Make sure you practice it with a metronome if you can. I know it's harder with a metronome, but it really locks in your timing. If you really struggle, go and just do it with a backing track. That's fine. That's better than nothing. You're still in time. That's it. As I said, the tabs are in the description. Make sure you download that. Also, there's a pre-sale half price of my course where there's a step-by-step system with these kind of exercises. Link to the backing track. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you've got any questions, just comment down below. I reply to every single one. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it.